Hi, Sharks. My name's Margaret Nyamumbo. I live in New York City. Today, I'm seeking $350,000 for 5% of my company, Kahawa T93 Coffee. Did you know that the best coffee in the world grows in Kenya? I grew up on my grandfather's coffee farm in Kenya. Us Kenyans, we're very proud of the coffee that grows on our soil. But there's a catch. The farmers don't always make enough. 90% of the labor in coffee comes from women, but so many are not compensated because they don't own the land. That's why I created a new way to compensate the coffee farmers. We source our coffee directly from women farmers in Africa. But that's not all. We go one step further. Our customers can tip the coffee farmers, and we match the tips.
I love the idea of, the fair trade, opening up doors that wouldn't be open up for people around the world. If there isn't a voice, and not just a voice, but action being taken, I think it's so important that those people that are going and doing the work are compensated in a way that enables them to have a better quality of life. By not enabling that, look, here in America, if we didn't get to a point where we offered that, we probably would still be in the Stone Age, right? For all the faults that Mr. Ford had, right? Henry Ford, he had a lot of them. One of the good ones was, I want to give people off on Saturday so that people can go and have a reason to go buy my car, right? Because if I'm hiring all these people and they can't buy my car, well, then what are we doing here? Right? Who is going to buy you can make all the things in the world, but if no one's going to be able to buy them, then, and they don't have the time to be able to go and get them, because, back then church was on Sunday and that was your day, it was a day of rest. And dealerships didn't really exist back then. I'm not sure. Actually, I'm kind of curious of what the history of dealerships are. I'll have to look that up. But anyway, I think that it's really important that there's people out there that are sticking up for people who just wouldn't have a voice otherwise. I really love what she's doing. I want to see some sales. I want to see a deal get done. I want to see something of substance here take place. So anyway, we're going to feature one of your comments from down below in the super community, as well as check out her website here at the end and social media. So stick around for that, as well as stick around and come around for the Super Entrepreneur Conference 3 taking place here in the greater Philadelphia area, August 18th and 19th. Tickets available now. Go to gobesuper.com for all the details. You can apply to be a speaker if you want, or sponsor the event as well. So let's get back to it.
We have over 16 different coffees. Robert, I know you like a dark roast.
I do.
We have an African spice coffee, which is chai spices. It's a very popular coffee drink in Kenya.
Oh, that's a good coffee.
Yeah.
I'm a tea girl, but that's a good cup of coffee.
Yeah. And
Emma,
then,
you don't drink coffee?
I'm English. I like a cup of English breakfast tea.
Oh, I don't know how you survive.
That ice cream.
I'm going to give you 9 out of 10 on the coffees. I'm very, very, very particular about my coffee.
I'm glad to hear.
I personally don't drink coffee myself. My wife does, Melissa, but she only started drinking it once we had kids. She needed the caffeine to keep up with everything going on.
And when you say leave a tip, how do they leave a tip?
Yeah, who leaves the tip?
By the way, I think that's brilliant.
I want to understand the tip. How does that even work?
Yeah, on the back of the bag, there's a QR code where they can enter their information and leave the tip.
What happened in 1893?
So that's when coffee was first commercially grown in Kenya. So coffee is originally from East Africa. Kahawa means coffee in Swahili, by the way, which is the language that we speak in Kenya. So with Kahawa T93, we're celebrating the rich origins of coffee in Africa. It comes down to the cultural context. In Kenya, the male member of the household typically owns the land. And so when we buy coffee, the payments go to the male member of the household. But the female member of the household is the one that's doing the work, doing the harvesting, the processing.
And who gets the tip?
When we send the tips, we've made it very clear that these are for the women. So the men respect that and support that.
And the men are okay with that.
And
They're okay with that, yeah.
How much have you...
That is super interesting. It kind of reminds me of the lion and lioness you know, what's the word? Economy, the relationship there. That's man, that's tough. I mean, having ownership of something, it means something, but at the same time, like if you're not taking care of the people that are doing it, then kind of missing the point of being able to provide for not just yourself but the people around you. And that goes for any business, not just coffee farms in Kenya.
Donated via tips from your customers and that you've also matched. So how much in total?
Yeah, so right now we've done $10,000 and we've matched another $10,000.
Wow.
That's
Okay.
amazing.
Wait. I'm fascinated, though, because you said you came from this.
Yeah, so I grew up there and I got a scholarship to come to the US for undergrad. So I went to undergrad. I ended up going to do my MBA at Harvard. Actually, I should mention, Emma, I was in London, so I studied abroad at the London School of Economics because I got really interested in economics.
But you got into Harvard.
After Harvard, I actually went to work on Wall Street. I didn't know anyone in the US. When I arrived here, I had $200 in my pocket. When I got my scholarship, my parents actually didn't have enough money for a ticket, so my village, sorry, they fundraised.
No.
Oh, wow.
They fundraised to get you here. Oh, it's
So
amazing.
nice.
You deserve it.
Thank you.
I'm very impressed, but I want to go back to the business. You're putting a value of $7 million on this business.
Last 12 months, we've done $2 million.
All right, let's go.
Year to date, we're at 1.3 million. We're hoping to finish the year at 4 million. And next year, we'll do 10 million.
How are you selling?
Whoa.
So 85% right now grocery and wholesale, and 15% direct to consumer.
Okay.
Last year, we launched in Trader Joe's. We actually became the first Black woman-owned coffee brand to ever launch
good for
in
you.
Trader Joe's or in a national chain. Right after that, other retailers came calling. So Target, Sprout. We have 4 SKUs that we sell at grocery. You're gonna spend $14.99.
Why don't you walk us through the margins? So,
Yeah, so we sell them $8 to the grocery store.
yes.
Wholesale, and then it costs us about $5.
Wow.
All
That's
in.
not good margins. I just want to know how much pre-tax profit you're going to make this year.
So on the 4 million, we're hoping to make about 600,000. On the 2 million, I made about 150,000.
That's really, really amazing.
You're a very impressive woman. I get it. You've done a heck of a job. And coffee, you've established...
Starbucks is still a growth stock, by the way.
The product and the story is good.
Yeah.
To scale this business for an investor to get a return, when I give you $350,000, I want a 10x. The only way that happens is you scale to past $50 million in sales and a bigger brand with distribution buys you. You're not worth $7 million today. The problem with this deal, just to
What's more?
Yeah, she's worth more.
I'm just looking at it as an investor, okay? You've asked for too much money. That's the problem.
Too much money. She hasn't asked for enough money.
And not for 5%. If I'm going to give you $350,000, I think this business is worth about $2 million right now.
Kevin,
You're out of your mind, Kevin.
Yeah, no, Mark is absolutely right, because what Margaret is providing is something that isn't there. It doesn't exist and might not exist for a while. So it is an opportunity. Yeah, I mean, maybe she's gonna need more money, right? It would help probably speed up through marketing and getting the additional distribution. But you know, I get it. At 5%, it's not enough. But this idea, I think really resonates with a lot of will resonate with a lot of people. So there's a ton of value there that isn't necessarily spoken for, and 10 million next year is probably very rapidly going to double and triple in the subsequent years that come.
Oh, no, it's not. That's crazy.
It's not. It really is a commodity.
You can tell which one of you two has the MBA and went to a good school.
Mark, the good news is you get to make an offer because I'm out.
I'm going to need a lot more than 350,000. And if I get on board with you, we are going to be raising money immediately. So I have an offer for you. I am willing to give you the 350,000, but I'd like you to consider that for 12.5% of your business.
Okay, thanks for the offer. Thanks for the
Wow.
I
offer.
want to point something out. I said earlier, I thought you were worth $2 million. Her offer is a $2.8 million valuation. She's giving you a bonus above me of $800,000, but it's $2.8 million, not $7.
Okay.
Deal with that, MBA.
Yeah.
Yeah, hey, you know, that's a great observation. As he sips on some, well, not tea, but coffee. Yeah, that's not. I mean, the partner is great. You're going to need to raise more money. I guess Emma isn't willing to pitch in more money than $350,000. I would think that she would, but maybe there's an opportunity for multiple sharks to jump in, get her closer to like 700,000 or maybe even closer to $1 million. Because again, opportunities like this don't come around every day when clearly the structure of things is not in the favor to be done. And Margaret is smashing through the proverbial glass ceiling, or just breaking down the stereotypes, the odds that are stacked against her, and people in her position. So and Margaret is just running with the ball there. She's killing it.
So basically, what I would say is I acknowledge.
Kevin.
Well, you know, you've got an offer here, so
Yeah, I have an offer. Thank you for the offer.
just saying, just waving my hand over here.
Margaret, I love the story. I don't know if I'm the good lead investor. I think having a female-run business gives you a lot of advantages, and I think you can scale that. $350,000 from Emma for 12.5%, and I'll give you an additional $350,000 for 12.5%.
That's unique.
So that'll be 25%.
It is
So
unique.
the total
There you
would be
go.
25%. Listen, you need more cash. You have something magical happening, but it's not going to last. You got to pour fuel on this fire.
Yeah.
Now.
Let's focus on this offer, because you've done something extraordinary in the Shark Tank. You've got double here. $700,000. Are you willing to, in any scenario, give up 25% of your company for that?
That's a tough
And
call.
Robert has offered to match.
I'll simplify, Margaret. Look, I think you're phenomenal. You're a superstar. There's 1,000 reasons to go into business with you. You're looking at having to raise $50 million, possibly,
100%.
or even more, right? Which is,
And we will.
I'm not saying you can't do it. You obviously can, right? But that's just typically not the type of business I like to invest in. I like to invest in businesses that grow more organically, as opposed to go out and raise to try to, hit grand slams. For those reasons, I'm out.
So that's a shame, because Mark could have definitely made that happen without having to necessarily go and raise. But the problem with giving up 25% is, Margaret didn't say if she has any investors already. But the real problem there is they got to raise. Well, they're going to raise and need to give up percentages. And those sharks probably aren't going to want to cash out anytime soon. So when you're talking about raising $50 million and they're like, hey, we're going to give you, $700,000 between the two of us, and you're giving up a quarter of the business. It's a game-changing amount of money, but it's also a game-changing amount of percentage that you're giving up at this such an early stage for something that's already working. And yeah, look, I guess the thought is that somebody else could come along, and there might be other Margarets out there, right? But how many could there possibly be that would be in that position and have the connection to coffee with the and the background of coffee, and be able to go and do it and make it happen? I don't know. It's really special. I guess unless you're looking at it just from the tipping standpoint, like anybody could slap a QR code with a tip on, to tip the people on the back. As long as you're getting some verification that that's actually going where the money, where the money's supposed to be going. Cause otherwise maybe it's just going to a slush fund somewhere for somebody to just kind of dip into every once in a while. you know, you need some verification of that part. But yeah, I mean, when you're talking about that kind of level of money, I feel like they should be trying to pony up a little bit more money than that. And it's a shame Mark's not on board to be one of those big down the road investors, instead of worrying about raising it from somebody else.
Thanks, Mark.
But you still have two
So
offers.
I have 2 offers. I just need to check if Lori is still in
I'll
play.
tell you,
I wish I had a
Margaret,
watch
I
on.
mean,
No kidding, right?
I think that you have very good offers, and because you have such a great offer from them, I
Lori,
think
throw
I'm
another
gonna
350 in.
I'm gonna go out.
When Mark's sitting here talking to you about raising more capital, it's really difficult for black women to get
Yeah, it
access to
is.
that
Yeah,
capital.
yeah.
But guess who's sitting right in front of you? Me.
I know.
Who has done
So
it
why have you not said
over
yes?
and over again? So honestly, like time's
I'm
ticking.
thinking 25% is on the higher side than I came in looking for.
What's your counter? What do you want to do?
8%.
No.
Would you be
I'll
able
take
to?
the half off and do it for 12%. If the half's the thing that's troubling you. Come on, you've got it. Like, seriously, I think that you really have to think about this one.
I'm worried about giving that much. Do you want to do something more creative?
No.
In the
No, I
future, so
don't.
you
I'm
just want
I'm
straight-
not into the royalties. I don't want to fanny around. I think that you've got a really, really great brand.
Yeah.
I'm into you and the story that you've got. So you have to make a decision
What's
based
your
on
counter,
that.
Margaret?
If you wanted to do some of that as debt, so let's say you wanted to do a 200 as debt and then 150.
No, I want to do the deal I've set out.
Emma doesn't even drink coffee.
Yeah, so Robert, I really want you the deal, but you were contingent on Emma, right? 8%.
The
Just so
counter
everybody's
is
on the same
Yeah,
page,
yeah.
right? So it's 8% in equity and $150,000 in cash and $200,000 in debt.
Yeah, that's the counter.
I can do that counter.
So you can do that, and then Robert, are you able to do the same deal, or you want to do something
I'll
different?
do
Oh,
the
no,
same.
I would do the same thing, too.
Hey!
Margaret,
up
you
to
don't
you.
need to have 3 sharks.
mean-
you don't need to give up that much
No, and I'm not
equity.
arguing with that. It's just,
You know.
that's your option.
I'd do that deal too.
Everybody
What do you mean?
That's what this comes down
Yeah,
to.
it comes down to how much
This
equity
is,
are you...
This is about you being decisive in this moment. And
Yeah,
you
yeah,
have
yeah.
to show the decisiveness. You've
Yeah,
got
yeah, yeah.
4
So
sharks here.
Okay, so now
That is a great. I mean, that doesn't happen very often where a counter like that entices somebody else to get back in, into it, and to come down off the 12%. I think that really, like, if they all get in, right, 5 times, that's 5 times 200,000. You got yourself $1 million right there, right? So, but you can't be giving up 8%, 8%, 8%, 8%. You're giving up 40% of your company, and you're still gonna need to raise more money, right? And that's gonna be really tough. I almost feel like they're taking advantage of Margaret here to a certain extent. Like, I don't know if that's come across in the way I've spoke about it, but it's just, I don't know. I mean, having the shark is great, right? Having 2 sharks, great, awesome. But when they're telling you you're going to need to raise $50 million, that percentage is going to have to come from somewhere. And you don't want to end up being diluted to the point of, where it's like you almost don't have a reason to be there, like to be doing and driving the business. Because, like, yeah, you might be the majority shareholder, but you got like 28% or 30% or something, and it's like, it's like the watermelon grape thing I get, but like none of this happens without her, right? They didn't think of this. They didn't come up with the tipping thing. They didn't have the connection. They don't have the background in coffee. Like, I mean, usually, yeah, it's a commodity, but Margaret's not a commodity.
I have to pick the sharks.
Look, it's getting very complicated. I'll give you the $350,000 for 8%.
I will do the deal. 350 for 8%. Basta.
Okay, and I get 2 sharks.
No, you get
You get one
No,
shark.
you get one.
You want to do a deal over there, that's a separate
Okay.
thing. I'm telling you, 350 for 8%.
For 8%. Robert, thank you so much for your offer. I really appreciate it. But I'll accept your offer.
Man, Robert gets left at the altar again.
Oh my God.
You did it. Well done. What a sweet
Congrats,
couple.
Emma.
Oh, man.
Well done. Very well done.
So this is such a dream come true for me, really getting Emma and another Black woman supporting me and mentoring me, and, you know, supporting all the other women farmers that we work with. They're going to be so excited.
So I love it. I mean, I wish Emma was a coffee drinker to be able to better support it, but let's check our website and social media. So you get 10% off if you drop an email address in there. So you get Kenyan, Espresso, Safari right there. See, I like seeing faces, and I'm not seeing. Well, wow, look at that. Look at that. They got their own little truck there or trailer. Awesome. You got to wait till you get all the way down here to see faces. I want to see faces like, boom, people enjoying the product, the farmers, you know, collecting the coffee beans and stuff. So like, gotta get that up in there, right? And people enjoying the product more. But yeah, so they got Shark Tank bundles. Let's see, where we at? $30 for 2 12-ounce bags. So so I assume these are these grounds? Like, are they already ground, or are they beans that you have to caramel milk chocolate safari blend? Huh. Okay, so I guess so you have to grind it yourself? Yeah, whole bean. Okay. Yeah, so that's cool, as long as you got the grinder to be able to do it. Let's check out social media, right? So we got 849 likes. We got likes on the page with a lot of engagement there. Let's go over to Twitter, where we're gonna find 994 followers, and he's got some engagement going on Twitter, more than a lot of people end up usually having on Twitter. And Instagram, we got 351 followers. That's great. Like the giant picture there. That's great. I love it. The problem with the giant picture, though, is like you see, like it's kind of stretched out a little bit, but the individuals don't get like it's like, here's a picture of a hand. But I guess maybe all these were posted like back to back to back. I guess that's what you would do is post it back to back. So that's pretty neat. I don't think I've seen many of that, while doing these videos here. But yeah, quite a bit of engagement. Margaret, I would absolutely love to have you come on the show for an interview and talk about your Shark Tank experience and business and how things are going. Just drop a comment down below. Like Jay Wright, love your program. Why? Because you do the research I normally do after watching Shark Tank. Also, you usually break down terms I may not know. Keep it up. Oh yeah, that doesn't hurt that you're in New Jersey like me. Woo! Jay, I appreciate you. We're supposed to get together up in the New York area, hopefully in the coming weeks or a couple months. Anyway, don't forget about the Super Entrepreneur Conference 3 happening here in the Philadelphia area, August 18th and 19th. For your tickets and all the information and everything, go to gobesuper.com. I'll see you in one of these 2 videos over here. Take care, and gobesuper.com.